We haven't determined exactly what happened in this situation, but as the president said, Turkey has a right to defend its territory and airspace. And again, I just would, we all realize when you're operating like that, and the president spoke to this, in a complex environment where you've got a coalition carrying out, airstrikes, daily airstrikes against ISIL, and then you have a country like Russia that is carrying out airstrikes, operating close to the border, that's not a member of that coalition, and is carrying out airstrikes against a moderate Syrian opposition, again, along the border of a NATO ally, then that creates a very complex and dangerous situation. The president was also very clear in his press conference today. We would welcome a constructive Russian role in countering ISIL if it decides that it wants to focus its efforts on destroying and degrading ISIL. Please.
You're saying Turkey has the right to defend itself. President Obama said the same thing. What defense are you talking about? Does anyone think Russia was going to attack Turkey?
Again, I mean,
Do
this
you
is,
think so?
Look, I don't want to parse out this incident. I've said very clearly that we don't know all the facts yet. So for me to speak categorically about what happened is, frankly, would be irresponsible. We're still gathering the facts of what happened. The NATO or the NAC met in Brussels today. We're still talking with Turkey. We're still trying to determine the series of events that led to the incident earlier today. Let's find out before we can make a determination, a definitive determination about what happened.
Well, even
that said,
if
let me finish. That said, we're also very clear that any country, when its airspace is violated and its territory is violated, has the right to defend itself. That's for that country to make that determination. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to speak definitively as to what happened, but that's the principle at play here.
Even if you accept the Turkish version that the plane traveled 1.3 miles inside Turkey and violated its airspace for 17 seconds, that's according to Turkey, do you think shooting down the plane was the right thing to do?
Again, I'm not going to give you our assessment at this point. We're still gathering the facts. What I think is important in the aftermath of this incident, and I've said it multiple times today already, and the president obviously spoke to it, is de-escalation. We want to see Turkey and Russia talk to each other. We want to see, frankly, these kinds of incidents eliminated going forward.
Yes, in 2012, Syria shot down a Turkish plane that reportedly strayed into its territory. Prime Minister Erdogan then said, a short-term border violation can never be a pretext for an attack. Meanwhile, NATO has expressed its condemnation of Syria's attack as well as strong support for Turkey. Do you see the inconsistency of NATO's response on this?
As to what President Erdogan may have said after that incident, I would refer you to him. We had, again...
NATO's condemnation of Syria's attack, and the U.S. is part of NATO, so...
Hold on. What you're talking about today, we said we're still gathering the facts. We're not ready to make a determination yet. We know what Turkey says happened. If that's indeed true, Turkey does, the president said this, have a right to defend its airspace. As others have mentioned, this is not the first such incident. It is part of what happens when you have another power operating on the border of a country, again, carrying out airstrikes that aren't part of the broader coalition efforts to counter ISIL. But I'm not going to make a determination, and I'm not going to talk about incidents that happened 3 or 4 years prior.
One more.
Please, go ahead.
Please, thank you.
Yep.
Turkmen forces in Syria said they killed the 2 Russian pilots as they descended in parachutes. Yep. Turkmen forces are supported by Turkey and are fighting against the Syrian government. They're part of the rebel force there. Do you consider these rebels to be a moderate force in Syria?
So a couple of thoughts. Points. One is we've seen conflicting views, as I think Saeed just mentioned. We've also seen that 1 pilot may not have been killed. If these Turkmen were actually being attacked by these Russian strikes, they have every right to defend themselves. But that said,
and they have the right to shoot the pilots in parachutes.
We don't have a clear clear understanding of everything that happened today. Okay, I've said that, and I can keep saying it all day. We're still trying to determine what happened. You know, it's easy to rush to judgments and to make proclamations and declarations after an incident like this. You need to gather the facts. You need to be clear about what happened, what occurred, and again, what the emphasis, where we want the emphasis to be, is de-escalating and communications between Turkey and Russia going forward.
As I wrote at the end of the previous video, YouTube did yank monetization before I even finished editing the description and adding the keywords. So my previous video wasn't monetized because it was about this same subject. I really need help supporting my work. This channel has been subjected to over 100 demonetizations of videos. Videos with hundreds of thousands to millions of views can no longer generate revenue for this channel. If you value my work and want to help support my efforts, you can click here to go to the Representative Press page, and there you'll see a donation button. You can choose to donate a one-time donation or a monthly donation. And thank you to those who have done so. After years of building on this financial model, pulling the rug out from under the Representative Press channel is a prime example of the damage done by YouTube's new policy. So if you want to help keep me afloat, please click on this annotation. If you don't see an annotation, there's a link to the website in the video description. There are many people that value my work. For example, Media Lens tweeted this video saying it shows a good example of media distortion. Several people have told me that Representative Press is their most valued channel on YouTube.